Welcome to Effective Evolution. And this time we're on the PIA 3797, the MSL's version, and it is a black and white JPEG that was created by Mr. Neville Thompson. And after going over some of these particular points of interest with this panorama, you'll notice that the architecture does indicate that they are of a planned nature, a planned extraterrestrial type of technological nature. And you'll notice there are some textures on various objects at various locations. For example, that might indicate they're tubular or some type of piping involved, perhaps to process something, indicating that there was some type of manufacturing going on in this area or areas over the past millions of years or more. And we'll get right to that to speculate on that. And you can perhaps notice that there is indication of a city like otherworldly establishment here. And we'll zoom in on some of the particular areas and use various tools such as the dodge tool and contrast brightness techniques and the burn tool and exposure tool, various other types of methodology. So let's get right to it, and thank you for your time again on effective evolution. To effective evolution. With this episode, we're with msl3797. It is a black and white JPEG version that was created by Mr. Neville Thompson. And as you can see, there are some very intricate designs to be experimented with. And after you get used to the panorama, you could determine some very interesting structures and objects and the like. And it will take some time to get more familiar with things, but that's the usual process. And with the dodge tool, you can notice that there are some shadows, very interesting objects with smooth textures, very straight linear patterns here, denoting various types of structures. Could they be manufacturing designs with the topological architecture, whatnot? And this area here, nicknamed Area 8, seems to have various designs that indicate they've been planned creatively. And this other area here, top of this hill in the background and whatnot, Area B, it does seem to have some very peculiar structures in the background. And this area, nicknamed Area C, also has some objects that we can zoom in on. Seems to be very smooth, very designed patterns to these objects. And this would be Area B with a somewhat cropped version. And you can see that there are intricate designs in here. Objects in the foreground as well.
This is using some of the exposure and contrast brightness techniques of exploration. And this would be area C, quote. Just notice the very smooth designs, very creative structure and texture of these objects. What could these objects be? Are they parts for some manufacturing process? Would not. You can notice the designs in the background here as well. Very intricate design here. Are they parts of some type of vehicle? Really makes you speculate a bit further. And using the Dodge instrument on the whole panorama here, you can notice those objects and areas that attention was brought to initially. This aroused the curiosity to a certain extent. And what would these be? Would these be some types of tubular pipes or whatnot? Seems to have some intricate designs here as well. Area A.
The original MSL's 3797 area with the nav cam on the rover, you get this type of panorama. And experimenting with some of the various tools, for example, the brightness tool, you can really get some interesting designs. And you can still notice those structures that we've brought to your attention, such as these items here, here, around there, here, and in the background as well. And just for experimenting with this area, you can get some astonishing detail. Now, would this be made by nature alone? Or is it, in fact, the creation of another worldly civilization? This is also using the sharpness tool as well, which brings out the edges somewhat more. And with some tinting in addition, you can get some astonishing and picturesque augmentations. things do stand out a bit more. And it encourages you to come up with some even more thoughtful ideas or whatnot. Or this area, the MSL's area 3797 with the nav cam. Thoughtful ideas. Very ordered symmetry and the like. Please keep on with your exploration. Thank you for your time.
And this area here would be, quote, area A. You can see that there are some intricate patterns in here. Is this machinery? Are these pipes of some sort? Process some type of material? It does encourage some further familiarization, of course.
MSL's area 3797. And we have this particular area that is quite fascinating. Now, as you can note, there are some very interesting regions to explore. For example, here, and this panorama is noted before with the tubular structures here, a very linear background here, interesting shapes and objects, this section here, and of course this area on the slope that seems to be parts for something. Very smooth texture, probably created for a certain purpose. Are they aircraft parts or some type of vehicle parts? And the background at this hill in the background as well, that's pretty notable. As a matter of fact, all of these objects are quite notable. Hinting, we get this type of clip. And as you can see, there's quite a symmetrical design here. That would be pretty challenging to reproduce strictly with nature. And also these designs here are quite linear. This is some type of vehicle that's been camouflaged in this particular area. Also around here. And in the background there seems to be a whole settled area of symmetrical construction or whatnot. And of course, the detail is quite intriguing. Those quote parts or whatnot that do seem very designed, perhaps for some type of vehicle or craft. And please notice the various designs in the background here. Very symmetrical, very creative, quite geometric as well. Every indication of being designed by some spacefaring civilization. And using the contrast brightness tool, we get to that area, which does seem to have tubular parts, i.e. pipes or whatnot, perhaps used for some type of manufacturing in the previous history of Mars. And here would be the symmetrical designs in the background as well. It really does grab your attention after you get more familiar with the region after a while. Interesting designs here as well. That area that seems to have some type of craft in the background here. Interesting object in the front here as well, quite geometrical. Perfectly circular designs here. Oh, a combination of them here. Another dome-like structure here. Is it made of glass or some type of plastic? Quite noteworthy, of course. These are just a few, there are many more. And we're just experimenting with the tinting and whatnot. Conclusion then, there is every indication that this panorama of PIA 3797, a black and white version that's created on behalf of Mr. Neville Thompson, and it does have some more detail, and sometimes you might find that the black and white version does bring out some extra features than the colored photos would for some reason. It's probably because there's more focus on the various extreme tints with the pixelization or whatnot. And so we'll just make a note that there are a lot of structures here that could indicate an extraterrestrial city-like establishment or whatnot. And all of these structures do seem to have some premeditated planning or whatnot. And you're encouraged to go over all of these areas according to your own choice time or whatnot. And until next time, keep up with your exploration. And thank you for your time on behalf of Effective Evolution. Any Insane, thank you once again.